Paris de Magic. Ici c'est Paris. Juste pour vous.
Imagine this transfer did not go through.
In August 2017, Paris Saint-Germain shattered the football landscape by triggering Neymar Jr.'s $222 million release clause. It remains the most expensive transfer in sports history, a geopolitical statement that tore apart the most lethal attacking trident ever assembled. But what if Neymar had listened to the desperate pleas of Lionel Messi and Luis Suárez? What if he chose legacy over the illusion of individual absolute power? What if Neymar never left Barcelona?
Hey, si querés ganar todo, quédate acá con nosotros. Y le decíamos, Ney, anda a Inglaterra mejor, al City, vos nomás, que ahí el fútbol va a ser mejor, porque en Francia...
Se o Neymar poderia ter sido melhor do mundo para encerrar essas fãs, né? Mas
Yo creo que sí.
To understand the trajectory of this alternate universe, we must first look at the immediate institutional domino effect. In our reality, Neymar's departure panicked the Barcelona boardroom, sparking a reckless, multi-billion-dollar spending spree to replace him. They threw $105 million at Ousmane Dembélé and over $120 million each at Philippe Coutinho and Antoine Griezmann. These panicky, mismatched transfers failed to replicate Neymar's chemistry, loaded the club with catastrophic wage bills, and directly catalyzed the financial ruin that forced Lionel Messi out of Camp Nou in 2021. In the alternate timeline, none of this happens. Barcelona stays financially solvent, and the MSN trident remains fully intact during their absolute physical primes. Let's analyze the immediate sporting reality of the 2018 and 2019 Champions League campaigns. In the real world, Barcelona suffered back-to-back historic humiliations, the 3-0 collapse against Roma and the 4-0 nightmare at Anfield against Liverpool. In both ties, Messi was completely isolated. When opposition managers choked the midfield and double-teamed Messi, Barcelona had no secondary world-class outlet capable of breaking a defensive block entirely on his own. With Neymar still occupying the left flank, those defensive structures collapse. Teams cannot afford to triple-team Messi when Neymar is waiting on the opposite wing, ready to exploit the open space with his lethal dribbling. The tactical balance of the pitch remains perfectly optimized. Barcelona doesn't just avoid the Anfield collapse. They likely steamroll through Europe. By 2020, this stabilized Barcelona side secures at least one, if not two more Champions League trophies, cementing the MSN era as the most statistically dominant attacking dynasty in modern football history. This brings us directly to the individual fate of Neymar himself. The pursuit of the Ballon d'Or. Neymar left Catalonia precisely because he wanted to step out of Messi's shadow and become the undisputed number one. But his move to League One isolated him from the global footballing elite. The lack of institutional protection subjected him to a grueling cycle of metatarsal injuries and ankle fractures that robbed him of his physical peak. In this alternate Barcelona timeline, Neymar's physical durability is preserved. La Liga's technical, space-oriented style of play protects a flair player far better than the bruising, low-block systems of France, especially against PSG. The defining catalyst for Neymar's departure didn't ignite in the boardroom, but rather on the pitch during the historic 2017 remontada against Paris Saint-Germain.
I think that's actually the game that marked the day that Neymar in his head said, I'm leaving Barcelona. I'll tell you why. Let me land. Because Neymar, we both agreed that was his game, bro. You take the free kick, you take the penalty, even the free kick at the end. It's a failed free kick from Neymar in the 94th minute or whatever, that he then gets the rebound. He was in control of everything that game. Messi, of course, was Messi. But then you look at the closing moments of that game, the final whistle blows, and it's Messi being hoisted by the Barcelona players. It's Messi doing this to the fans. It's Messi in the newspapers. It's Messi who completed the comeback. It's not Neymar. And I believe that that was the day that Neymar looked at Barcelona and looked at Messi and said that as long as I'm at this club, I can't be the best player in the world.
In that breathtaking 6-1 victory, Neymar put forth arguably the greatest individual performance of his career, single-handedly dragging Barcelona back from the brink of elimination with 2 goals, an assist, and a masterclass in leadership in the final 7 minutes. Yet the next morning, the iconic image plastered across global sports media was not of Neymar, but of Lionel Messi, arms aloft, celebrated like a deity by the Camp Nou faithful. This stark visual reality deeply bruised Neymar's ego. It became the ultimate proof that no matter how brightly he shone, he would remain an auxiliary figure in Messi's kingdom. Desperate to escape this perceived eclipse and secure an undisputed throne to claim his own Ballon d'Or after the controversial 2015 Messi Ballon d'Or.
Okay, I think that's actually all the time that we have. Oh, Neymar, sorry.
Neymar allowed his head to be turned by Paris. But if he had looked past that immediate sting to see the tactical horizon, he would have realized that playing alongside Messi, Neymar isn't overshadowed. He is actively accelerated.
Quando você vai para o PSG, você entende na tua cabeça que ali tu poderia ter a oportunidade de ser o melhor do mundo?
Cara, eu não fui nesse pensamento, pra ser sincero. Não fui num pensamento de falar assim, vou sair do Barcelona para ser o melhor do mundo. Até porque eu tava no Barcelona, na última semana, o Messi mesmo falou pra mim, você tá indo embora por quê? Você quer ser o melhor, é porque você quer ser o melhor do mundo? Eu vou te fazer o melhor do mundo.
As Messi naturally transitions into a deeper playmaker role in his early 30s, Neymar organically assumes the mantle of Barcelona's chief goal scorer and chief architect. By 2019 or 2020, with multiple Champions Leagues in his cabinet and a leading role in a dominant Barcelona team, Neymar secures the coveted Ballon d'Or. He doesn't need to leave Messi to become the best in the world. He simply needed to let the natural life cycle of the team run its course. This natural evolution would have spared Barcelona from the erratic, panic-fueled spending spree that defined their late 2010s recruitment. Instead of throwing hundreds of millions of euros at disjointed profiles like Philippe Coutinho, Ousmane Dembélé, and Antoine Griezmann to fill a Neymar-sized void, the club maintains its tactical cohesion and financial equilibrium. The deadly MSN trident remains intact for several more seasons, gradually evolving as Luis Suárez ages, but always anchored by the telepathic understanding between its two South American virtuosos. Neymar, operating at the peak of his physical and technical powers between the ages of 26 and 30, becomes the focal point of every transition, terrifying European defenses with his lethal combination of samba flair and hyper-efficient output. But the most fascinating ripple effect of Neymar staying in Barcelona actually takes place over 1,000 miles away in Paris. Without Neymar as the foundational cornerstone of the PSG project, the French club never achieves the immediate global marketing breakthrough of 2017. Wait! Before you continue watching this video, do y'all currently have plans to buy your favorite football jerseys? The FIFA World Cup is just around the corner. Real jerseys are costing more than $200 nowadays. That for just a shirt? What if I say you can now get it for just $15 with no compromise in quality? Go to Coco101.com. They have the latest jerseys and the oldest ones too. Plus, it's just $15. Order your jerseys before the World Cup starts. If you think it's a scam or something, look at this Scam Advisor report. Check out the link in the description. Back to the video. The Qatari ownership's grand vision of turning Paris Saint-Germain into a footballing superpower is suddenly halted without a global icon of Neymar's caliber to spearhead the brand. More importantly, they do not have the same gravity to completely control a young Kylian Mbappé. In our reality, PSG signed both Neymar and Mbappé in the same explosive summer, using the gravitational pull of the Brazilian superstar to convince the teenager that Paris was the center of the footballing universe. In the alternate timeline, without Neymar anchoring the project, Mbappé's career path changes drastically. Real Madrid, who were heavily tracking the French prodigy at Monaco, secure his signature years ahead of schedule, completely rewriting the competitive balance of European football. A young Mbappé joins Zinedine Zidane's Madrid side, creating a terrifying dynamic where the peak years of the modern French icon are spent at the Santiago Bernabeu, establishing an era of dominance that directly collides with Neymar's peak years at Barcelona. The El Clasico rivalry is instantly revitalized, transformed into an epic decade-long generational war between Neymar's Barcelona and Mbappé's Real Madrid. Meanwhile, back at Barcelona, the retention of Neymar changes the destiny of the club's next generation. In our world, the financial collapse forced Barcelona to prematurely over-rely on teenage prospects like Ansu Fati and Lamine Yamal to carry the weight of an entire institution. These starlets were thrown into the deep end of a chaotic rebuilding squad, forced to suffer under the immense pressure of being labeled the next Messi before their bodies and minds were fully developed. In the alternate universe, a mature, peak-era Neymar serves as the bridge between the old guard and the new. With Neymar absorbing the tactical attention of opposing defenders and shielding the squad from intense media scrutiny, young talents can be integrated into the first team at a healthy, gradual pace. He becomes the mentor to the next generation of La Masia talent, just as Ronaldinho mentored Messi, and Messi mentored him. Under Neymar's wings, an emerging Ansu Fati isn't rushed back from injury to save a sinking ship. Instead, he learns the art of inside-forward play from a master. A prodigy like Lamine Yamal develops in an environment of serene stability, learning how to channel creative freedom within a winning machine rather than carrying the desperate hopes of a bankrupt giant. If Neymar had never left, Barcelona would look fundamentally different today, completely altering the career trajectories of its aging stars and young prodigies alike. Without the structural financial collapse forced by chasing $222 million replacements, generational starlets like Lamine Yamal and Ansu Fati would never have been tasked with single-handedly rescuing a bankrupt giant. Instead, they would be eased into a winning culture, learning from a mature, world-class mentor. Lost La Masia talents like Riqui Puig and Alex Collado would have stepped into a stable, functional system tailored for creative development, rather than being cast aside or driven out during panic-fueled squad overhauls. Furthermore, there would have been no tactical or financial need to sign Robert Lewandowski in 2022 and could have signed a big superstar like Haaland. Neymar would still be anchoring the front line as the club's undisputed veteran talisman, while Messi would have likely given an honored retirement at Barca. By not choosing the immediate financial windfall and the promise of a solitary throne in Paris, and stripping away the $222 million transfer fee, not only both Neymar and Barcelona's careers would have been saved, the entire football market won't be crashed. Who would have thought the GOAT would go for as low as $95 million?